Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to talk about the full moon that's going to be happening in Leo, and this full moon takes place February 16th. And I am talking about the sidereal Vedic zodiac. So when we have a full moon, it is actually when the sun and the moon are in opposition. And this is when the moon lights up the darkness of the sky. Now, it's very interesting that the new moon that we had February 1st was conjunct Saturn. And now we have this full moon where Jupiter will be casting its energy by opposition. Jupiter and the sun will be together in Aquarius during this full moon. But this date is very significant. And let me just go over, the full moon is going to be in Leo, but it is also at 3 degrees, which is in the nakshatra called Magha. And Magha rules leadership, kingship, rulers, presidents, everything to do with who's in charge and being able to be in charge. So this is a very powerful moon. One other thing I might add about the nakshatra Magha, well, its symbol is a throne, and it is a star of power. It is such a powerful nakshatra. But another thing about it is that it is ruled by Ketu. So it has its dark side to it. And as we look at where Rahu and Ketu are transiting at this time, they're about to change signs, but I find it very interesting that Rahu is still in Taurus and Ketu is still in Scorpio. Well, Taurus is ruled by Venus and Scorpio is ruled by Mars. So the dispositing planets of this nodal axis happens to be Venus and Mars. Now, the reason why I think this is so fascinating is because on that day, Venus and Mars are exactly conjunct on February 16th at 22 degrees of Sagittarius. Now, you may not think that that's a big deal, but actually when two planets are exactly conjunct, they're in what's called a planetary war. So I've often said Mars represents war and Venus peace. So we have a radical fight going on. This can actually even mean there's a war going on because this is so intense. And especially in the sign of Sagittarius, it's fighting for what is right, what is truth, what is the reality of things. Why is this happening? I mean, at this day and age, we're still at war. You would think that with the consciousness and awareness that people have come to, that we'd be beyond this. But humanity may never be beyond this. But I will say this, that Mars and Venus being in planetary war, they are against each other and they are arch enemies. Well, actually, they're very passionate together. Venus does rule love and Mars does rule passion. But put them together and you have this complete opposites at odds. And that's actually happening all around the world, even though we do have some critical places on Earth that are being under siege with this. That's what I see with this. But also, if I talk about where Ketu is the dispositing planet of the moon's nakshatra. So this makes this new moon very relative to Ketu's energy. And Ketu is the indicator of losses. But it definitely relates back to this Mars and Venus for the fight for what is right in Sagittarius, for righteousness, for justice. This is what is flaring up big time at this point, but we do have the sun with Jupiter. So what that can mean, the sun with Jupiter, is that all of this is happening for a divine reason, and that something will emerge out of this that is of great benefit to the world. That's what I see. But the sun is pretty intense at the time of this full moon, being not only in Aquarius, but in the nakshatra Dhanishta. Dhanishta is ruled by Mars. Mars is all about anger and attacks. So you see, we have this really difficult period that's going on right before the shift in March of the nodal axes that stirs the pot of everything that's been brewing. And now we have people in a rage. We have anger. But one thing I can say is finally, something good will evolve out of all of this chaos. Because it is very chaotic, that all that's going on, especially since when Mars goes into Capricorn soon, it's going to create havoc even more. But you know, Jupiter right now, it is in the nakshatra called Shatabhishak. That nakshatra deals with the 100 healers. And it does deal with hard to cure disease. And I have to say, this coronavirus is a hard to cure disease. And yes, probably there's still going to be fear about different variants and the mutations of this virus. What if this? What if that? The fear will still be running rampant until we get past the nodal shift. This year, I promise you, things will begin to get back to normal, but not after some major uprisings of war throughout the planet. You see, everybody's been focused on the virus. Now we have something else to focus in on, and people aren't even going to be talking about the virus like they did. It's like the focus will change, and what we're looking at is what we have to be working on. We have left that in the dark. We have not seen what's been going on while our attention has been diverted to other things. But I want to say this, there is a major shift and change in leadership all over the world, and especially in the United States. It's all happening February and March, and let me just give you the lowdown. When we get to August, that's where everything that's happening now comes to a major explosion. So with that, I want to close. If you would like more information on me, if you would like to learn Vedic astrology, go to my website, which is galacticcenter.org. And remember, if you would like to study Vedic astrology with me, go to my university website, which is universityofvedicastrology.com. Thank you.